Now you made a kasha in it. Okay. Anyway, we're doing the sugya of shoymrim, particularly shayel, the shoymrim, yeah, and particularly shayel. We saw yesterday the chid of meis machmas malacha, that when a person borrows something, he, even though he's chayiv the einsim, a shayel's chayiv einsim we call, because kol nashalo, nonetheless, the shayel has the patur of meis machmas malacha, because I didn't borrow it to keep it bekilasa. So now we have a few cases, and one in particular I think we're going to spend a little time on. So the first, now, Ahu Gavra, we're on Sadik Vav on the base, 5 lines from the bottom. Sadik Vav on the base, 5 lines from the bottom. Ahu Gavra, there was this individual, the Shoyal Nagra Mechavre, he borrowed an axe from his friend, and in Itbar, and it broke. So Asak L'Kamei de Rava, he came in front of Rava, and Amalei, he said, Zil Aisisadeh, Leishanispe, go bring a raya, a proof that you didn't go ahead and you weren't negligent. In other words, that was Meis Machmas Malacha, be pater, right? And if not, you'll be pater. What happens if there's no? Now l'chari you should be able to swear, but be leka sadei mai. Now, what is this? If there's no edus, what? Tashma, the hu gavra, the shoyel nagra mechavre, he borrowed an axe from his friend, the itbar, and now this broke Shia. Rashi says, this axe broke Shia, so he's chayiv to pay. It's not meis machmas malacha, right? He broke it. Asla kamei de Rav, they came in front of Rav, and Amalei, Rav told the shoyel, zil shlimle nagra ma'alia, go ahead and pay him back a brand new axe. A brand new axe, that's what he told him. So Amalei Rav Kahana Rav Asi Rav. Dina Hachi, is this the din? Meaning, you should not pay him a brand new axe. You should go ahead and whatever, let the guy sell what it's worth, the pieces, and you'll add to it, but up to a brand new axe. But you don't have to give a brand new axe. B'shasik Rav, and Rav remains silent. B'hilchasik Rav Kahana Rav Asi. Allah is like Rav Kahana Rav Asi. So what's exactly going on over here? Rav went ahead and said, if you break an axe b'pshia, you have to pay a brand new axe. Okay, so this sugya over here, really, the main sugya, guys, is in Baba Kama. We had it in Daf Yud Aleph. I sent out the Taisvis that we're going to do Be'ez Hashem. So should have the Taisvis in Yud Aleph. I sent it out on the phones to everybody.
Ribbis, if you borrow an axe, let's say, and then it breaks, and you give him back a new one, is the issue with ribbis?
Ribbis is by a loan. Where's the ribbis?
No, because he borrowed something. Now he's giving back something better.
No, he's only giving up to the price of what it's worth. Not paying more than that. You're giving.
The other one was used. Now
he's giving him the price of an axe. In other words, whatever they're going to evaluate what it was worth at the time that it broke, what it's worth now, the broken pieces, and Shas Amad B'din.
According to the last, it said the kind of says that you have to give it.
Again, we'll deal with your question. Let's first see the sugya. Okay, we're going to see the sugya now. So, it's not Mesa Machmelo. It broke Rashi said Pshia. If you look at the Itbar, the last Rashi on the page, right, it says what Pshia. You're going to have trouble finding the last Rashi on the page. Anyway, so I know what you look at. Okay, so let's look at this Taisus, guys. Okay, everyone, look at this Taisus. Now, the background of Taisus is we saw in Baba Kama that when it comes to Nezikin, you could pay afilu subin, meitav, kol mili meitav, afilu subin. In other words, if you damage a guy $100, you can give him $100 worth of brand. Whatever it is, you can pay him whatever it is. Kol mili meitav. That was the din what in Nezikin. Now Rav said, "Ain't shamin loy leganif loy legazlin." You don't evaluate not for a ganif and not for a gazlin. What does that mean? Taisa says, Pirush HaKuntris, ain't shamin hanevela v'hashvarim lebailim. You don't go ahead and evaluate the dead body of the animal if it was an animal that was damaged or stolen, v'hashvarim or broken pieces lebailim sheyachzer haganav hapchas, that the ganif goes ahead and gives back the remnants, and then you'll sell that, and the ganif will make it up. No, that's not what you do. This is Rav's din. El Yishalem Behema Shalema, the Ganif or Goslin pays back a full-fledged animal, the Kalim Mu'alim, and fine Kalim, the Hashvarim Shaloi, and the Shvarim, what are his, and the broken pieces, they stay by the Ganif. So the Ganif, in other words, there's two possibilities. You could say whatever's broken, you return to the owner, and then you make up the difference between the broken pieces and the value of what it was. Or no, you go ahead and give him a brand new one, right? In other words, it's either Amazon, right? You send it back, or no, you're going to go ahead, Ron, and you're going to give him the broken pieces, and you're going to go ahead, Ron, and keep it. So you're going to get he make up the difference. So again, you give him a full-fledged animal. Ain't shaman. What does that mean? We don't evaluate like we do by Nezikin, we don't do by a Ganif and a Goslin. The Ganif and the Goslin, if they go ahead and an oinus happens by them, whatever happens, they have to give a totally new thing back to the Nigzal or the Nignav, right? That's what you have to do. The Afal Gav, Frek Toises Akasha. The Afal Gav, the Kaimalon. Yoshev Rabbi Shavah Kesef, Va'afilu Subin. The pasuk says Yoshev to return, Afilu Subin, Frek Toises Akasha. So why can't I give him back the broken pieces and make up the difference? I stole the $1,000 animal. The broken pieces are worth 200. Why can't I go ahead, Rod, and give him the 200 and 800? Why do I have to give him a $1,000 animal back? Right? Why do I have to do that? It should be worse than the Zekin. Why is Ganif and Goslin different than the Zekin? Good. Why is Ganif and Goslin different than the Zekin? So it continues Tosfos. Ganif and Goslin shiny. Ganif and Goslin are different. Why are they different? Mishum dechsiv, it says, Asher Gazal, Veheshivas Exela Asher Gazal, Kain Shagazal. You have to return it like it was when you stole it. Hilkach, Sarach Lahachse Gazela Oidameha. Either return the Gazela or its full value, Velay Subin and not Subin. So, in other words, I have a pasuk to tell me that Ganif and Goslin is different than Ezekin. You can't get away by paying junk. Even though if the junk's worth hundreds, whatever it's worth doesn't make a difference. You have to pay value or the animal itself, or whatever the kli was. Now, this was by Ganif. This was by Goslin. Good. The Mashmi Yushalmi, Minayin Shein Shaman. How do you know that you don't evaluate Loyla Ganif, Loyla Goslin? Amrav Abba Mamamel, Chayim Shnayim Yishalim. Now, this is by Ganif. Chayim Shnayim Yishalim. You have to pay. I don't know. Tell Chayim Shnayim Yishalim. V'loy Mason. That you pay what? You pay double, v'loy mesim. And the guys, this is by Ganif. So Toisus brought in Goslin. The Yerushalmi is bringing in Ganif, right? The pasuk of Chaim Shnayim Yishalim Kefil is what is by the Ganif. And what does that mean? It means Ad Kedon Genev v'loy mesim. Chaim Shnayim Yishalim. Pay back live. V'loy mesim. That's Ashkechin. You find by Ganif, Ad Kedon Geneva, Gezela Minayin. How do you know Gezela? That you pay back the full object? Amrav Abba, Bamamel, the Heshav Gezela Shegazel, Kasher Gazel. Okay, for Hainu Taima, the Ganif, the Goslin. What? Okay, so now, guys, so very good. Okay, so now let's go. Guys, outside. Guys, so outside. So by Nezikin market, what do you do if you damage? You don't pay, you evaluate whatever it's worth. Now, the owner keeps that. The owner keeps that, and then you go ahead, what? And you make up the difference. You mishalim it. By Ganif and Goslin is different. You have to replace it totally. Why? Because by Ganif it says Chayim Shnayim Mishalim B'Chayim, and by Gezela it says Asher Gazam. Now, that's the pasuk. What's the svara, guys? What's the svara? Continuous Taisvis. What's the svara? V'hainu Taima. What's the reason why Ganif and Goslin is different than the Ezekin? What's the reason? The Ganif the Goslin koine miyad kishoitzia mishus bailam. As soon as they take it out of the shus of the balim, who's chayiv v'insin, guys? They are. In other words, we spoke about the arichos when we did Baba Kama. There's a kinyan. He has a kinyan, right? But according to Rabbi, he's kind of the shvach, right? He improves it. And, you steal wool, you make it what dye it, it's up. In other words, there's a kinyan there. There's a transfer of bilus. Albeit against the will, there is a transfer of bilus over there. So memela he's chayiv b'insin. So there's a kinyan. So once he's kaina, it's considered shtika like his, right? Aval mazik like this chayiv el kamesh hizik. Mazik you only chayiv what you did damage. You didn't make any kinyan. Yeah, there was no kinyan by mazik by damages. It happened. Behind timer, guys, what we need the manda ama rav af l'shoyel. That a shamal again for Goslin and what does Rav say? Af l'shoyel, even a shoyel. Kivin the chayiv ba'insin, since you chayiv ba'insin, nimsa shekoina mishasha itzim yad bailim. V'hadamim hu demischayiv k'may gana for Goslin. So the similarity between shoyel and gana for Goslin is pronounced, right? You chayiv ba'at le'inyan, it's yours le'inyan einsin. So once it's yours le'inyan einsin, if something happens to it, you have to replace it. It's in your rishus, it's yours. Now you replace it, as opposed to Masik, which wasn't. So now, this is the svara guys of Rav. We can understand Rav now. So going back to Agamara. Now, what does Agamara say? Let's start again. Dahu Gavra, the Shoyal Nagra, 2 lines from the bottom of Sadik Vav. Dahu Gavra, the Shoyal Nagra Mechavre, there was this individual who borrowed an axe from his friend, the Itbar, and it broke with Peshia. Asl Kmei the Rav. But now, why would Rav tell him, guys, this is a shoyel? Guys, what would you expect Rav to say? What are you going to give him back? A brand new thing. Amalei, Zil Shimle, Nargama Alya, go give him back a brand new axe. So Amalei Rav Khan Ravasi Larav. Dina Hachi, is the din by shoyel the same as Gana for Goslin? In other words, it's not. It's the same as Hezek. Vishasik Rav. Rashi, Dina Hachi, Sheyishalim loy kli asui umitukin, that you're going to pay back a mamish, a fire, let's say in Yiddish, guys, a fire to a kli, you're going to pay back a full-fledged keli. But Tanan, gabe nezikin, tashlumi nezek, malamed, shabaylim, etaplim, in avela, that the vela still belongs to the owner. Sheshamaloi and the vela shall be masay shemesa ayidezeh shezikoloi. We evaluate the damage done by the one that damaged it. Valel maisif, and then the masik, he adds on to that difference. Umishalim the mayem. Hachanami setu by shayel yishumu sheva rishon. Evaluate what the axe, the broken pieces. V'aleim yishalim damav, and you make up the difference. V'zeh yelech v'yitrach v'yiknei kliyach. And let this guy now take his money and buy another kli. So that is beautiful toises to explain Shitas Rav and shayel and why they hold the same as the zikin. Now, what's your shayla, Yankel? There's no shayla over here. You're giving back the exact same value that it was. Right? Not more. Again, you're evaluating it. Let's say it was so you evaluated it. It was an old one. What was it worth then? Now, and whatever it is, that evaluation, you're making an exact evaluation, right? It's not that you give me here's your thing, an old axe and you're paying back a new axe. No, you can evaluate, and that's going to be the difference.
I was looking at the shelf life of it is 50%, but now you
okay, but now that Toysus illustrates that really the difference you want. And okay, it's a little late. I was going to do the Rashbam. Let's go back there. Okay. Geshmak. The Toysus really illustrated, I think, the Shitas Rav. It doesn't say it over here.
doesn't do the fact that it's a knas today?
No knas. Where's the knas? Knas is, again, you know what knas is? Knas is a dovakotziv, or more or less. Again, remember that's from Daf Hey and Baba Kama Top Rashi. That a knas is exact amount. I mean, a kotziv shleishim shaleved, exact amount, or more or less. Okay, that's knas. You go ahead, you return the broken pieces, and you make up the difference. Who gavre, there was this individual, the shoyel davle mechavre, he borrowed a bucket from his friend, and it broke. Asla kamei Rav Papa, amalei, I see sadid l'shanis pay. Go ahead, bring edus that you were not negligent. V'ifter, and you'll be what the pata. That's meis machmas v'lacha. Who gavre the shoyel shunra mechavre. It's a very interesting case. This is definitely in the blog. Who gavre the shoyel shunra mechavre. A guy borrowed a cat from his friend. Now, why would you borrow a cat? To kill mice, right? In those days, they didn't have mice, cats as pets. They were exterminators. And you had a rodent problem, so you borrowed a cat. So this guy borrowed a cat. Now, unfortunately, the cat was going against the Mighty Mouse, right? The JDL of mice. Because Chibur Le Achvari, all the mice got together to Katlu and they killed the cat. Yeah. It was like Ben. Remember Bekias, Ben. Anyway, Willard. Anyway, so Yeah, so again, it's anyway. Question is, Yosef Ravashi can we boile ki agav nemai ki mesim malach misvalacha dami? Is it mesim malach misvalacha? I lie, or it's not mesim malach misvalacha. Look at Taisvis, guys. Ki agav nemai tema not coming boile. I like mesim malach misvalacha. It died in battle, right? There's no mesim malach misvalacha gedai lemizu. So what's the shaila? And for Taisvis, the Yeshleimar. The boile, the shaila was imshina b'masher elich l'makayim shahaba achvarim mitzuyin. In other words, usually he doesn't have to deal with a rampage of a grade. Yeah, he didn't have to deal with. In other words, maybe he's chayiv because he put the cat in a precarious position, right? By fighting all these mice. But in other words. Anyway, he brought it in this place, but not that he has to watch that they don't kill it. So, in other words, that's the shaila. The meis machloslacha, or the guy is a shtickle pesheya that he brought him into this area. Okay, anyway, so they brought the shaila to Rav Ami, Rav Ashi, Hachiyam Ravim Me'agrunya Mishmei de Rava, Gavra Dinashi Katlua Loidin of Leidaina. A man that's killed by women, Leidin of Leidaina. There's nothing to talk about. Okay, I'm not going to make the blog. Right? Nothing to talk about. Ikad the Amri, others say, Achal Achbar Tuva, it overate the Chavel Umais, and it heated up and it died. So Yosef Rav Ashi become Ayimba, Ki Agavna Mai, Samalei, Rav Mordechai Rav Ashi, Hachiyam Avim Merkunya, Gavra the Nashi Katlu, Leidin of Leidaina, Zichi can be pot, that's Mesvach Maslacha, and there's nothing more to talk about. Rashi says, the lashon of nashi the katlua lehoyela lipo biyadan. You shouldn't have fallen into the hands. So the man shouldn't fall into the women, and the cat should not have fallen into the hands of the mouse. Hayman the boy lemeshal midi michavre the lifter. We must give you a little advice. You want to get off the hook, guys. You want to borrow something, get off the hook. So namele ashkayin maya. Go ahead and give me a drink. So you borrow something, you tell the guy to give you a drink. Since he gave you a drink, what is he? It's bolovimoi, have you shayla b'bailim, and you'll get off the hook, right? By going ahead and getting a drink, you'll get off the hook because you'll have shayla b'bailim. And if the marshal is a smart guy, namely shal b'reisha, take it first, and then I'll give you a drink. Amarava, mikri dardiki. These are people who are they're paid by the city, guys. Mikri Da'aki is a kitty teacher. Shatala, this is the person who plants vines for half the schar. Facha is the butcher, the shaykhid and the butcher. V'umna, here we say it's a blood letter, and later on we're going to say it's a mile. Saper Masa, or the barber of the city. Kulon be'idin of the saya, when they're working, k'shela b'bailam dam. If they borrow something from you, you're going to have the tour of shela b'bailam, because they're working for you. You're paying them. Amulei Rabban Rava, Shoyalon Mar, the Rabbanan said to Rava, you're in our employ because you're teaching us. So anything we borrow from you, we're going to be pata because you have to teach us Torah. So Ikbid, so Rava got upset, and Amalahu, he said, Lafkuye mimoine kabi isu. You want to take away my money? Adrabba, Asan Shalisan Li, you're borrowed to me. In other words, you think that I'm working for you, it's the opposite. If I want, I can change what we're learning from Mesechta to Mesechta. So obviously I'm in charge. Right? And you're not in charge because you can't. So you're indentured to me. It's neither nor. Rav can't in the Yom the Kala, when they had the Kala, the Rigla before the Regel, he couldn't change the Mesechta, and therefore Taka wasn't their employee. And and they are in this point all the other days of the year. So it's not totally one-sided. Merema Bar Chanina, Oiger Kudnaisa Bechuzai. He went ahead and he rented a donkey or mule Bechuzai from this Bechuzai. Nafik Ledluye Tuna Benaya. They went to load it up, and Merema began helping them, which was a big mistake. Why? Because that's Shela B'Bailam. So it says, Pashuba, they were pashea with this donkey, and it died. Asla came the Rava. They came in front of Rava and Chayvinu, and Rava was mechayiv them to pay. So Amalei Rabban Rava, the Rabban said to Rava, Pshia b'bailim he. It was Pshia b'bailim because why? Because Merema helped them load. The Saif Igloi Milsa Dilamesa Tunahu Dinafik. That he didn't really help them. He went to watch that they weren't overloading the animal. So in fact, this is the second time we had this Gemara. We had previously also where a papa seemingly gave a wrong psak and was embarrassed, and then it turned out he gave the right psak. The same thing over here by Rava. The same thing over here by Rava. So in other words, he was watching when he went out. He wasn't actually loading it, which would go ahead and constitute working for them. And you have a Sheila B'Bailim issue. It's speaking where what he was watching, make sure they don't overload, and therefore he wasn't working for them. Now, now we had a machlokes earlier. Is the Patur of Baal Avimai that it says by Shoyal, does it go back to Parshias? Does it jump the Shem Esacher and go back to the Shem Echinam Parsha? And so that Bishleim that it does, then we put the Mishmach Yichsev. Elamandi Amachayev, like the Mandi Pshia B'Bailim does not exist, right? That by Shem Echinam doesn't exist Pshia B'Bailim. And my Yichsev, why would Rava be embarrassed? Like that Mandi Ama. So Loy says Gemara, it answers Loy Mivshaf Pashaba. In fact, it wasn't a case of Pshia. Ela ignuve igniv. It was a case of what? Of being stolen. So being stolen, umesa kidarka beganef, and it died in the house of the ganef. V'asu lekame de Rava v'chayvinu, and Rava came and was mechayv them. They were a seicher. Okay, so seicher is what? Is a shem esacha. Shem esacha is chayiv b'gneva aveda. So it was stolen. So amulei rabban Rava gneva b'bailam he. 1 second, he was working for them at the time. Ichsif, the Seifig like Milsa, the Lamesa Tuna Hunafik, he didn't go work for them, he didn't load them, but in fact, what did he do? He simply went ahead, and he viewed and he watched what they were doing, and therefore Rava was right and correct in his psak. Okay, Mishnah. Hashayel es hapara she'ela chatziyoyim v'sacher chatziyoyim. Okay, so guys, here's going to be the shaila. What's the difference between a shoyel and a soichel in chiyuvim? Einstein, right? So we're going to have a bunch of shilas where you have a hybrid over here. You have a schiris aspect and a she'ela aspect. The owner is going to taina that the oinus occurred in the she'ela time, and the soicher is or the shayel is going to taina it happened in the schiris time. And I'm pata because I was a soicher at that time. I wasn't a shayel at the time. So now a shayel is a para, and you borrow para, but it wasn't for nothing. Sheila chatziyah, half a day was for nothing. The sacher chatziyah, and the other half a day was a rental. Sheila hayoim, the sacher lemachar. You went ahead and you borrowed it for a day, and the next day you rented it. So the first case, guys, is a half a day. The second case is 1 day this and the other day that. Sacher achas v'shol achas. You borrowed 2. One was schiris. One was Sheila, Umesa. And in all these cases, it dies. Now, Hamashal Aimer, She'ula Mesa, the Mashal says that the She'ula died, right? That She'ula died. In this case, where you had a She'ela and a Schiris, it wasn't the Schiris that died, it was the Shula that died. Biyom Shahaisa Shula Mesa, or it was the right one day. It was the day of Shula it died. The Shashai Shula Mesa. This is the first case, guys. What was the first case? Half a day Shula, half a day Sechura. V'hala Amar Eni Yadeya. Chayev. Bari v'Shema, a taina of Bari, a taina of Shema, I don't know. Bari Adif. So this the mashal is claiming you owe me money. The oinus occurred in the she'ela part, be it the she'ela time of the day, be it the she'ela day, be it the she'ela animal, right? In the 3 cases, and you owe me money. Says this guy, I don't know. So what's the din? Says Rashi Chayiv, the Shalem, the Bari v'Shema, Bari Adif. We have a taina of Bari and a taina of Shema. The taina of Bari wins. Next case.
After the guy be bird,
What?
after the other guy be bird.
What do you mean? This guy's tining for sure. It died.
He doesn't know.
What? Again, he's not guessing. He's not lying. He's saying the animal I gave you was the shula. The time it died, he's tining for sure. This is a tiny buried Avram. He's not. They're not guessing. He's saying this. I know for sure. Again, hopefully we're dealing with philestical people, right? This guy's a tiny body. I'm claiming that unequivocally that you owe me money, cause you're chayiv ba'oinsin, and it was the shula part, be it the day, be it the animal, be it the time, whatever it was. The Seicha claims what? It died on the Schiris day. The Schiris animal died. It died on the day it was rented and not lent. The Shasha Hayas Mesa, in the half a day that it was Skura died. The Hala Amani a day. Here's your case of Rami. And now the other guy kindness, I don't know. Yishava Hasaicha Sheskura Mesa, and he gets off the hook. Like Shvus Hashem, he gets off the hook. The Chor is a Shvus Hashem, right? Rashi. Yishava Hasaicha, Lekam Parach, Masha Tanu Lehoidaloi, Vehechi Ksu B'Shvuzu. It's in other words, what he's claiming, he's not admitting. He's saying that this, and he's saying, I don't know. So l'chayro, why is he swearing? No, I guess it's not a Shvus Hashem, right? This says, I don't know. They don't know, both don't know. And you say, yeah, the din is yechlaiku according to Sumchis. Sumchis holds moment amutal b'saf for Cholkin, and this case is something. Okay, let's just begin the Gemara. We'll go over it tomorrow. Just perfunctorily, let's begin. Shmamina, the first case over here, where the guy kind of is for sure, and he says, any day yechayev. Says Shmamina, monali biyatcha, you have $100 of mine in your hand. V'hala any adeya, you have a dead animal of mine in your hands, a shula, and he said, any day yechayev. You see that what you are chayev. Let's say it's an upshlag of Rav Nachman. Ditmar, monali biyatcha. Someone claims to have the money in your hands. V'lo ameni adeya. Rav Huna Rav Yehuda Amichayev, because Bari B'Shema is Bari Adif. Rav Nachman Rav Yochanan and Pata. Why? Because we'll go ahead and keep the money in the cheskes of the Mara, and you won't take it out misveika. So again, there's a suffix over here. You don't know for sure. You have this guy's time. This guy's, I think Avrami was bothered by this. This guy's time doesn't make it vadai. Doesn't make it a vadai. This is, you don't have Adim over here. If you have Adim, it's a whole different ballpark. It's not Adim, it's his claim. So where's the money by now, guys? The money, who's holding on to it? The Shoyal's holding on to it, right? So you want to go ahead and take it away from him. In other words, you want to take his money. You want to say he's chayiv to pay out of his pocket. If it's in his pocket, you want to take it out. Says Rashi. I'm not going to take it out from Suffolk. So we want to tie that the Mishnah is not in conjunction. Rav Nachman says you potter when a Mishnah says you chayiv. Right? Obviously, it's not Rav Nachman. So says the Gemara. Kidam Rav Nachman to be tarets the Mishnah. Kigon sheyesh esik shua b'neim. Hachanami kigon sheyesh esik shua b'neim. Without going into it now, fellas, there's an existing shvua over here. In other words, when our Mishnah is speaking, there's two shvuas, and on one he's chayiv a shvua moedav mitzvahs, and now since he's chayiv that shvua, it's not Gilgal. It's so in other words, since he's chayiv that, we'll say you chayiv the other thing. We'll see that position tomorrow. Yeah.